All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're breaking down a really powerful idea from a daily devotional, all about the connection between what you believe and your ability to be healed. We're going to look at how this source argues that faith isn't just some passive hope, but a real, active tool you can use. And it all kicks off with this one key moment from the scriptures.
So this one verse is pretty much the cornerstone of the entire message. And you got to notice the timing here. Jesus says these words after the woman has already been healed. The devotional really zooms in on that phrase, "Thy faith hath made thee whole," arguing that her belief wasn't just part of the miracle, it was the essential ingredient that kicked the whole thing off.
Now, it's super important to know that this message doesn't just come out of nowhere. It's actually part of a bigger series for the month of September that's all about supernatural healings and miracles. So, what we're looking at today is really one piece of a much larger thematic puzzle that's being put together for the reader all month long.
So instead of just talking about big, abstract ideas, the devotional grounds its entire argument in that Bible story we just mentioned. The healing of this one woman becomes the foundational case study, It's the blueprint for how faith is supposed to work for absolutely everyone.
Okay, here's the critical point the source makes. This wasn't something that just happened to her. The healing was triggered by her active belief. The text points to her specific thought, "If I just touched his garment," as the actual catalyst. This is a huge shift, because it suggests that the power wasn't just accessed by being near Jesus, but by her own personal conviction.
So they take that foundational story and they pull out this central principle, this core idea. The argument is that there's a specific mechanism at play, and it all revolves around faith. Let's see exactly how they define it. And here it is, the central metaphor. Faith isn't just a feeling, it's a tool, something you actually use. It's presented as the literal key you need to unlock a door. And the takeaway is pretty blunt. Without this key, the door to what the text calls God's miraculous power stays shut, no matter who you are.
This leads to what is essentially a spiritual formula. If you come to God in faith and you're actively believing He has the power to heal, then you will experience that healing. The focus, the responsibility, it's placed squarely on the individual's mindset and their level of trust.
But this isn't just some abstract, theological discussion. The message quickly switches gears and tells you exactly what to do. It moves from explaining the principle to giving you a clear, step-by-step guide for putting it to work in your own life.
And they break it down into this three-step process they call activate your faith. First, you got to look inward, right? Examine your own beliefs. Then it's about taking that leap, a step of complete trust. And finally, you have to focus that faith on one specific thing, His power to heal, whether your struggle is physical, emotional, or spiritual.
And to make this even more real and practical, a model prayer is right there in the text. This is such an effective tool because it's basically giving you the words for the steps we just saw. It's like a script for turning that internal resolve into an out-loud declaration of belief while also asking for help to make that same faith even stronger.
Now, this daily message, it's not meant to be a one-and-done thing you just read in isolation. It really acts as a gateway to this whole wider ecosystem of resources, all designed to get people immersed in these ideas and connect them with a community of people who think the same way.
For anyone who wants to go deeper, there's a really clear path laid out. The author suggests his other books that dive right into the month's theme. It's actually a pretty smart funnel, right? It moves you from a daily bite-sized message to a much more in-depth, book-length study of the exact same concepts. And their whole engagement strategy is completely modern. I mean, look at the mix of platforms. They use these more intimate channels like WhatsApp and Telegram for their dedicated followers, sending out direct messages and podcasts. But at the same time, they're on the big public platforms like TikTok and YouTube, which are perfect for reaching a brand new audience. It's a really sophisticated two-pronged approach to building a community.
Wow. And this chart really drives home just how global this community is. What's so powerful is this idea of a synchronized global ritual. I mean, think about it. It's midnight in Nigeria, but it's 6 p.m. on the east coast of the US and 1 a.m. in Switzerland. People across continents are all taking part in the exact same shared practice, creating this incredible, powerful sense of unity. And then finally, the devotional zooms out. It goes from personal healing to the ultimate spiritual event, the return of Jesus Christ. It suggests that the very same active faith required for your own personal miracles is the same faith needed for ultimate spiritual readiness. And so it leaves the reader and us with this final, very personal question that goes way beyond just healing. Are you prepared?